Hello ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Autodesk Alias course, and if you are at this level and you are trying to watch this chapter as you are, so you are going to be a pro alias modeler because you care about the videos, so you care about your models, so you care about your skills and the course, so you're gonna grow up. Okay, now we're gonna work on the shoulder. We have worked on the hood on the last chapter, so let's just talk about the shoulder. You know, we have the wireframe of the shoulder, but it's a little different from the front blueprint, because as you know, we have set our reference blueprints on the top and side blueprint, on the top and side view. So the front view is just approximate thing, and you may not have the exact lines here. Anyways, you can move, or I don't know, scale the front blueprint to have exact curves. But now let's move on the shoulder, because it's not important, because I know where the curves should be. So I have created the wireframe of our shoulder. As you know, there it is. It is a positional line that is connecting to our fender and the side door. You know, this line called character line, which there is a surface here with a little crown, so you can use freeform blend sometimes, maybe, and your shoulder is going to connect to the hood and the lights. But you know, it's a positional line as we are watching the photos. But you know, you can create another line here to have something. You know, this is a new way for creating this, because you can use the freeform blend tool, but you can also use, I don't know, a square or B-rail tool. But freeform blend is the best, but you can also use the B-rail. So let's align this curve to our lights. Just revert it because there is a bug here, so you should turn up the CVs, or there is a trick that you should set the align tool to G0 to not cutting the, to don't cut the, I don't know, curve or the surface you have, and then you have the CVs there and degrees, so you can increase the degrees and set it to tangency. Now I've already set it to tangency connection. Let me just have a different value here and watch how much this can be. You know, this is not the exact line for your lights, for your headlights area, because you can trim that later. So now let's just click on the curves and move that there and hide this layer, because I don't want the hood curves. So let me just pick all objects in this layer and delete them, and here delete the layer. Okay. Sometimes if you have any curves or surfaces in a layer, it would go to the default layer, so take care of that. But in some versions there is no bug and the objects would completely delete. So okay, let me just turn off the symmetry and watch the photos, you have a little tilt here and also a little crown. You can get some help from these sections because they are showing you the crown of your surface. So the crown at the middle is a little, and when you are going to hood, it's decreasing. So but you know, for now let's just have a simple tilt for this. Set to connect ends, auto updates, you have your curves. Okay, let me just set the end here. Okay, this is our shoulder. I can add a square there later. So for example, I have something like this line and I can add a crown if I want. Turn on the crown. No, I should add a smaller value. So okay, let me just check some other. You know, you can also check this from the back view. As you see, there is a little tilt here. So you know, the back tilt, you know, the back crown, I mean the back area of your shoulder is a little more crowny. So you can set it to a different value and create a square there. So let me just move on. Okay, now it's okay. This crown is okay. Now I can add a surface here with a square tool, or I don't know, B-rail tool with 2x2, or I can also use freeform blend if I want it. So let's try a square here. You know, I'm showing you how to play with the surfaces, and you're watching this because, you know, we are going with very bad speed because we are caring about the surfaces here, and we should care more. And as you see here, you have a tangency because you have set that curve to tangency. Okay, if I wanted to set it to tangency more than it is, so I can add another curve here, or I don't know, a B-rail here, or freeform blend to have a tangency. Let me just check this. Move these segments here and here. Okay. For example, I have a positional connection here. I can set it to tangency, move the segments again to get updated. So, for example, something like this. There are also some spans which you can, you know, this is much smoother. Anyways, you can also add a fillet here if you wanted to create something between tangency and sharp positional lines. So you can add a field here, but you know, reflex are showing us a little positional thing here. So I think it's okay now. So let's check it with other photos. No, a little positional thing, but I prefer to set it positional as I said before. So what is the factor that makes our surface tangency? You know, this tilt, this curve, the tilt of this curve is helping us have a smoother connection between the surfaces. But if you don't have a smooth curve there, I don't know, I mean the sharp curve there, so you can have a positional line here, and it's okay for now because I told you we should have a positional line there. So in curvature shading, if you check this, you have a huge curvature section here. So this is the maximum curvature that you have. You know, it's purple, it's blue and purple, so it's very high, and it's not a problem. Okay, now I want to play with this line to watch how can have a different surface quality. You know, when I'm increasing the tangency, the lines are going to the hood direction, and the curvature is going to be much smoother, as you see. When I'm decreasing the align value, so I have a positional line there. So this is something that I think is correct. So it's 7.8. Okay, now let's just watch the whole work. Okay, this area is okay. Now we should have another surface here. Okay, this is very important section. As you see, there's a fillet here, but we're not going to add a fillet there. You know, there's a little fillet here, and in different views you can see that fillet. Anyways, you can just ignore that for now and try to have a simple connection here first, and then try to improve the quality of your surfaces. Okay, we have a tangency connection here. It seems like it's a fillet. Anyways, you can have a freeform blend also if you cut both surfaces. So let me just add a fillet here and turn off the automatic trim. It is curvature. Okay, let me check the value first. For example, I should increase this value. Okay, I'm trying to just find a good number for that. Okay, I have a fillet here. I've also turned off the automatic trim for that. What is important for us here is having a curve from that area to here to have a reference to create our surface that is based on that curve. And as you know, you can also move the CVs of that curve, so you can have a different crown here. So now let's move on the model. So as you see in the reflections here, there is a little crown for our pillar, so for our back pillar. So you know, pillars always have a little crown, A pillar, B pillar, and C pillar. B pillar also have a crown even if it is setting on a window. Okay, let me just move it a little bit right, so I can have a curve here, for example. You know, I'm just trying to find a way to create the surface. This is not the exact way. Maybe you can create this area from a different way. So there are many ways with respect to different tools that Alias has. So I have duplicated this edge, so I have all the curves. So let me just set a pivot here now, because I just want to scale these duplicated curves. So I should set it a little left because I should stretch it left more than the right side. So anyways, I told you there's a different way. You can go for the offset tool instead of scaling the curve, but you know, I'm okay for now with the scaling, and I can move this curve. Okay, I can't edit this fillet, you know, because the construction history is deleted as I wanted to scale that. So I'm gonna delete this and extend it back here. So I have a new curve here, for example. You know, this is not the correct way, but this is the fast way, and you would get a fast result. But you know, this is not a high quality way, because the high quality way is having curves exactly and add fillets. I mean curve fillets between them. But you know, I just want to have an approximate curve, and I also want to show you this is possible. This is not high quality, but this is possible. Okay, so let me just turn on the CVs here and move it up. Here, and the tangency is not connected for now. Okay, for example, this curve is okay, something like this. And you can move this CV because it's free to move. And from the top view, we didn't move this, so this is not a good way to create the curves, because let me just move this one a little upward. So maybe I just should select all these curves and rotate. You know, I can rotate that, but it's not okay for now. So I told you that another way for creating these curves is using the offset tool. So the offset tool is much better. So let me just try to have something. So you know, the tilts have just changed, and so this is a wrong way, but it's fast enough. Anyways, if you are going to connect these surfaces, you also can use the draft tool to create that pillar, but you know, this is not wireframe modeling, this is surface modeling. When you are creating surfaces, you care about the surface tilts and crowns and shapes, so this is surface modeling. But as we talked before about the wireframe modeling, we are going to create wires before creating surfaces, so it is very important for us to create curves before creating the surfaces. Okay, now I just want to have a back extent, again negative extent there, so we can have a curvature connection, a curvature line here, and try to, you know, why does this happen? Because the last curve, I mean the curve that you are aligning this curve to it, is having a different curvature, so you also can decrease the series of that curve and have better quality. Now we don't have this curve, and we should create another curve here, and that curve is connecting to here, for example, but it is a little distance here, but you know, for now it's not important for us. Okay, now let me just create another curve, and let's care about the curves position. So we're aligning this. You know, I'm just playing with the curves. It is very important. You know, it is time consuming, but it is very important because you are doing the wireframe modeling, so you should care about the curves before creating the surfaces. And as I told you, you can use the offset tool. So try to use the offset tool for each edge of your roof surface. Okay, let's check the curvature. Oh, it is not very good, you know. You can decrease the CVs of these curves, so you know, the tilts here are very annoying, and it seems like they are curvature, they have curvature connection, but you know, it seems like there is a little distance between the tilts. The tilts and the crowns are very important on the curves. So we can also use this if you want it to create something very fast. Okay, let's just play with them. I have its surface here, a pillar. I have the crown of this surface from different angles, so I can turn on the crown, use edge align, and okay. You know, this should be a little, this should go a little down, so downward, so let's just add a little crown. For example, our shoulder crown is okay. And you can add another freeform blend here with the edge align again. So we have this, and as you see, the crowns of this surface needs a crown change, so I am flipping the crowns. So let me check, this is okay, I think. Yes, this is okay. This one, pick nothing, pick object. This one is down, change it to up, flip it again. And this one, but you know, this surface is very important because sometimes we may not create this surface before. Okay, now we are into the problem here, because we have 3 surfaces here, and we should, and also 2 other curves, 2 other edges, so we should, you know, there's a little crown on this pillar, and we should connect all these surfaces with respect to 2 things. First, they should be all tangency. 2, and there should be a little fillet between the pillar and the new surface. So something that we can go for that is creating a surface at the middle and connect the other surfaces to it. You know, we have a lot of work here because we are going to show you different ways to create this surface. But when you learn to how to create this surface, you may create that very faster next time. So it has a little crown here, so okay, crown, flip the crown, okay. A square tool. You know, the third surface is not going to connect with the curvature, so we should create tangency or something like that. You know, this is very common problem because the edges are annoying us. You know, with the tangency connection it is very okay, but with the curvature connection is not okay. So we admit that we should go for the tangency, for example. Anyways, the position is failing at this point because it can't get connected here. Anyways, we can also use the align tool to connect this surface edge to our pillar edge. So align it, Okay, I should move the segments, for example here, okay, and I should increase the CVs of U and V, for example, to have a good tilt. Okay, let's increase the V degree. Because the U degree is not going to affect our edge, so we're gonna increase the V. Okay, it is green now. If I turn on the explicit control, and for example in other tools you have explicit control. Okay, I've deleted the locator. So you have a position connection here. You know why? Because your edge is not tangency. So you should edit this. You know, you can use a tubular offset as we talked about before to create a freeform blend, for example, or you can create a rail here. You know, this is a very wrong way. I know it's a wrong way, and I know I wouldn't get my answer, but you know, I just want to show you what is the wrong answer and why is it wrong. So let's check with the B-rail tool. It is also failed, as you see, because the positional connection there is still exists. So no, it has an error, we can't fix it. Okay, I told you about the answer. You should use the tubular offset, and that trunk surface should get trimmed, and then use the freeform blend. If I use a freeform blend before trimming, you know, it has a problem. You know, the surface quality is approximately good, but the end connection is not good again, because you should have a fillet there. If you don't want to trim that trunk surface, you can create for example a square and click on the third connection and set it to position. I mean the connection between the trunk and your new surface. And after that you can add a big fillet there, so it would be fixed. Now let me just move this and show you the answer is not here. And you know, when you're watching the hover shading, it's still connecting with a bad problem. Let me set it to default. No, not again. This is the wrongest way I have ever seen in my life, because the surfaces are collapsing, and I don't know, this is very wrong. So don't try this at home, and just respect to the fillets. Don't try to create the fillets manually with freeform blend. You know, sometimes some smooth surfaces, for example in Porsche cars or in Mercedes-Benz AMG cars, some surfaces are not fillets, and the reflex shows a big reflection and a big shifting of the tilts, a big changing of the tilts of the surfaces, for example two surface, but we don't have a fillet there and we have a freeform blend. But here you can use a big fillet because your pillar and your roof have positional connection, so you should connect them positionally, okay, and then add a big fillet there, or I don't know, the fillet that you think it is very good to have. Okay, the answer is also not here. You know, I've created that surface first and then using the B-rail surface to create the other one. We can't find the answer. We still can't find the answer. Okay, so I told you the correct way of creating this surface. So let me just show you a new tool here. Okay, you can choose the edges that you wanted and select accept or spacebar. Okay, it is creating a surface for us here, and we can add it to G0, G1, tangency, anything, and click on build, and it is finished now. But you know, for this special example, it is not going to answer because you know our pillar, the last surface of our pillar here, when it is connecting to our new surface, is not tangency enough, to get to have this to to have this tangency, or I don't know, curvature with the side surface, your shoulder. So it can't keep the connection between your shoulder and your pillar surface. Now let me add a blend here, for example. This is also another way. So we are connecting these surfaces with, we can also click on edit and select a point and just click on this square and move your pointer so you can change the value of curvature connection of a blend tool. So this is also another way that you have a blend curve here, and you can use B-rail to create a surface here with respect to, for example here, to create a surface with respect to that blend tool. So it is smooth enough now. But you know, it's not connecting to your pillar, so the problem is I have also the curvature connection here, and it's okay. It is still okay, but it has some spans, but it is okay. So I have another connection here with curvature. Let's just move the segments. Okay, for example, something like this. But you know, the problem is connecting these two surfaces and connect all of these three surfaces to your pillar. So this is the problem. Okay, I'm using freeform blend, for example, and adding curvature connections. So it's something like this, and it has a little problem because it has a bad tilt. Okay, so my pillar should start from this edge. If I wanted to go with this way, go on this way. So anyways, so you can also add a fillet here when you are connecting the surfaces here. Anyways, this is not a good way to. So I've just deleted that surface and I'm going to create another surface here. You can also delete the other surface to have a smoother connection, but let me check if it is okay. You can also use freeform blend if you want, or you can use the square tool because you have a blend here, a curve here, an edge here, and set all to position. Okay, a little problem here, so set it to tangency, for example. It is okay. So we have many ways to create a surface here. So this is our problem. This was our big problem. So you can I told you what is the correct thing. You should just don't try to have a tangency position with your trunk, because there is a big fillet there. So the true answer is not connecting those surfaces with. We just flip the crown. Okay, you have something like this. You can also increase the value of your crown to have a smoother connection. Okay, now we can connect, but don't forget that this is the second one should not be tangency because it has a problem. Okay, you know, we have a different quality here, and so this is very, I think this is much better than the last one. But I told you using the fillet tool is much better. You know, that blue area needs a big fillet, not connecting with the freeform blend. So but I told you there are many different ways and many different answers for this area. You should try to, you know, we have talked about this area very much because I just wanted to teach you how to try very hard to get a good quality. At the next chapter we would show you the answer and the way that we tried for that. It is something like this.